This is your typical mediocre white man. This is what they are, right? 3% tattoo, don't tread on me, American flags, Second Amendment, probably underwear, Trump condoms, Trump socks, Trump boots, own the libs somewhere in the back. He is the typical mediocre white man. You want to know what a woman is, sir? I'll tell you. 13-year-old Katie Johnson that Trump and Epstein molested. E. Jean Carroll that he was found liable for sexually assaulting, raping, in a court of law by a jury of his peers. 25 other women that he sexually assaulted. Calling reporters piggy and fat, bleeding out of their whatever. His Access Hollywood tape, how he demeaned women, grabbing them by the pussies, they can do whatever. Cheating on his wife, a woman, with a porn star. Another woman, while she's at home with her 2-week-old son. All 3 of his wives, because he's such a great Christian, such an alpha male, that he can't even keep his wedding vows. Now, by the same measure you judge, lest you be judged. You are what's wrong with this country. You're intimidated by women, specifically black women. They intimidate you. You saw Vice President Harris on the ticket, and you probably purposefully pronounced her name wrong. Just for fun, because you want to be funny and cute. Hey, Bob, I own the libs. They can't tell me what a woman is. Hey, tomorrow, let's talk about the transgenders. Hey, how about on Sunday? Let's talk about the tampons in the boys' bathrooms. Ooh, wow, I'm really insecure, aren't you? Yeah. There's a number of reasons that little boys turn out like this. Either A, their parents didn't love them. Maybe he was abandoned. Maybe he grew up as an orphan. I don't know. Maybe he was kicked off the baseball team. Maybe girls didn't date him because he's so insecure and so emotionally unstable. There's a lot of reasons that little boys turn out like this. But he is the symbolic of why we're here. The Joe Rogans who voted for a rapist president. You have Dana White, who's some kind of like beta cuck alpha male who hit his wife. You got Triple H in the White House, who is also sitting down with the rapist president. Because it's toxic masculinity. All mediocre white men. And you might say, Paul, well, they're well known. Who cares? Hitler was well known. Jeffrey Dahmer was well known. Just because somebody is in power doesn't mean that you're on the right side of history. They're on the white side of history. Because that's what this is. It is fear of a white minority. And that's what this little clown over here does. This insecure little boy. Never talked about Worm Brains, who cheated on women. All 3 of his wives, so she took her own life. Pete Hegseth, who had daughter out of wedlock because he didn't respect women. Paid $50,000 to a woman that he sexually assaulted. Donald Trump nominated Matt Gaetz, who had sex with a 17-year-old minor. Now a woman. And on and on. The disrespect of women is par for the course for little insecure, mediocre white men like this. It's who they are. 2 things can be true, Karen. I can appreciate your service and criticize you for who you are as a person. You do not get a free pass for voting for a rapist and a pedophile and a felon. If you say you serve this country, which I'm going to take your word on, you sat there like the rest of the world and watched officers get beaten. And you said, yeah, I got 3% and a Second Amendment, and I got guns and flags, and look, don't tread on me, and I'm going to own the libs by asking them what a woman is, because I'm a dumbass. And that's what you did. Because you were never going to vote for the black woman. Because she scares you, and she intimidates you. And there's going to be more people like me. Actual men that stand up for women. Unlike you, that cosplay as a scared little boy. That are going to start calling this out. And this country is going to progress. And one day, we're going to have a black woman president. And I'm going to run down the street, scream it from the rooftops, because I know little mediocre white men like you are going to lose their shit. Because you're going to think that America is going to hell because a non-white person is sitting in the White House instead of picking your goddamn cotton. That's why we're here. And maybe one day you'll get therapy and seek help. But based on who you are, the constant white victim, probably never going to happen. People like you, little boys like you, view growth as weakness. You need to be an alpha male. You need to beat your chest and own guns. And you'll probably call yourself a Christian. 41,000 people die from gun violence. Not a word from you about that. I thought you were a patriot. 14 million kids go to school hungry. Kids are doing shooting drills, tourniquet drills. Teachers are getting armed. And you're worried about, tell me what a woman is. You're just a mediocre white man. That's it. You can dress it up. You can own 1,000 guns. But you know the difference between you and me? I don't need to gun to be a real man or to be masculine. I'm going to call it out because I'm not insecure. Unlike you, I voted for the black woman, the most presidential qualified candidate. You voted for a rapist because he was white. And until we as a country acknowledge that's why we're here, we're going to keep getting Karens like this. Mediocre white men who are threatened by a white minority. It was never about the price of eggs, the price of gas, the cost of a house. Never. It was about the color of her skin. Have a white day, sir.